Well, good morning. This is me again, making the first of hopefully three for Monday morning. I really don't have much to share. I still work, so I'm hoping to get a job assignment today. I'm gonna put this over here. I'm just hanging out, making short videos. I figured out how to actually load off of the phone, which is quite a feat for me. And now I am trying to figure out how to load a short off of the phone. I have a program on my computer, my personal computer, that I can do it, but I'm lazy, I guess, like most people. It'd just be easy to load shorts off of because you get a lot of views off of shorts. Now, can you build yourself up to make a living off of shorts? I wish some of you people would answer me. I mean, I don't get very many views. I realize that. And truthfully, I haven't figured out to see if it's do you just look at it and go, because I do it. I'm not pointing fingers. No. I do it myself. I scroll through and something catches my eye. And it's interesting. And then a lot of people, either because of their language or, their personal choices. I do believe in democracy. I don't think we all have. Who wants to be like everybody else anyway? This is what I don't get. Why, if you're different, whatever your difference is, that's your that's your opinion. That's your right. That's why we live in America. And yet it seems like for so many, if our opinion differs from their opinion, then they're mad. And they don't want to live here, or they don't want to participate because they don't like that we're different. And yet if we didn't have that right, we would be like the other countries across the pond and further, because their government does not tolerate any kind of difference. Many times the difference that those people, that person or people who are complaining, you wouldn't even survive in the country, the other country, because they won't tolerate any kind of difference. I mean, just because you differ from it, you don't agree with it, doesn't mean that you don't tolerate it. You do. I mean, there's a lot of things that I choose not to do or be, but I'm not going to fault anyone who is. I'm not going to try to make their life miserable, but I just choose to not participate. I think that's it. You just choose not to participate. And if you don't want to participate in that said activity, so be it. That's one of the reasons why America got founded. And it was revolving around freedom of choice on how to worship. I think England, you had to be, of course, there was a lot of taxation without representation. And if you get off your lazy little butt and go vote, you can be represented. That's something that I just don't get with this. Maybe we've always had this issue. Truthfully, I don't know. I'll have to go investigate, and I will. Have we always been so lackluster about voting? If you don't vote, you can't gripe. I vote, so I can gripe. It's such a privilege to be able to vote. And I'm talking about the person voting, not dead people voting. Dead people voting is not cool. No cheating. You go vote. I go vote. We go vote. And you vote your beliefs. And you find the person or persons who believe the way you believe. So I guess this video is about voting. But it is something I don't get, And not just presidential elections, all of them. Not just vote vote in your county precinct kind of stuff. Vote, vote, vote. It doesn't take that long. And I've been guilty of that. I have been guilty of that. I have not voted, like in county precinct stuff. And then you're upset because the taxes are rising and the you have to pay taxes, you have to pay school taxes, you have to pay this tax, that tax. Well, the last time one of them came up, I went and voted, and when I started looking at all those amendments and those propositions, I couldn't believe. I thought, you got to be kidding. I didn't know that this was up. I didn't know this was being discussed. Well, guess what, Melissa? You didn't know because you didn't investigate. You didn't look. And so many times you hear, well, why vote? My vote's not going to matter. Well, it will. Enough not matters, vote. And guess what? Then suddenly it does matter. And then suddenly you're being having to participate or pay for a tax or have a law that you don't agree with. Well, you didn't go vote, and that's what I had to just tell myself. And I think I did have to find the voting center because, like I said, I've been very guilty of this, but I found it and went in and also realized, well, you need to read up before you show up, and that is a very good thing. Read up before you show up, and then well, you see all these people, and you're like, well, I don't know who's the best. Well, read up, then show up, and you will know who's the best, and you get invested. You actually get invested in not only your country, which is, like the presidential elections and all the stuff that hangs on to that. You become invested in your state, and then you become invested, not only that, but in your county and your city. So I guess that's my tidbit for the day about voting. I think we're fixing to have some type of midterms come up. I'm going to study it. I'm going to learn it. And when I go in there, you can, and now I don't know if this is true in every state. And I, once again, showing ignorance, I don't know if this is every county, just county, the counties have different rules and stuff. But there's something in my brain telling me, you can take one piece of paper in with you. Because there's a lot of people to vote for, and I couldn't remember all that. I mean, there's just no way I couldn't. But where I live, you can go in with a piece of paper with names, etc., so that you can, you've done your research, you know who's going to represent your views and your desires, and then you vote for that person. You become invested in what is happening in your country, your state, your county, your city. You become invested in it. So I wish more of us would do that, because it is such a privilege, such a privilege. You listen to those people who have lived in these other countries where there's so many restrictions about women's rights. I can't figure that one out at all. They get upset about women's rights. Women do, but yet they don't get upset when these women are burned and have acid thrown on them by other countries. They don't get out and sort of, in a sense, shows support to these women in these countries where these horrible things are happening. Can be raped by their husbands, just raped by men, period. And it seems to like it's always their fault. Where's the girls that want to stick up for the girls there? Girls from other countries that do have the right to march and picket, etc. I don't understand the silence there. I really don't, especially for women. Women standing up for women. I don't understand the silence. But anyway, I guess that's my little thing for today, is that we need to get more involved in voting and representing our beliefs, our wants, our desires, and and voting should be legal. No, backroom stuff. It should be a true vote to represent the majority of desires, because we are in a very blessed country. We are so blessed. You listen to people who've lived under communism and socialism, and they're in shock at how so many think that that's the way to go. Well, they think that's the way to go till they get there, just like the people who left because they didn't like the current president and that he won. So they left America, and now they're crying and want to come home. You will always think the grass is greener. That seems to be a problem with not only Americans, but with humans. The grass is always greener. And guess what? It's not. It's really not.